This is an energy reading on Candace Owens per request for entertainment purposes only, and also I reserve the right to my spiritual and religious beliefs. And I'm going to speak from an enlightened perspective about where Candace Owens is at in her process of spiritual awakening, as well as what I think about what she's saying and doing in the public arena. My name is Ellen Red. I'm an enlightenment teacher and an ascension guide, and I actually have a background in journalism. I studied at the University of Utah and got my bachelor's degree there and graduated in 2001. I hope I'm right. Yeah, 2000. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2001. Okay. Gosh, years flew by. Okay. As far as a journalist goes, Candace Owens is by far one of the top journalists, really, I think, in our world. And so, first and foremost, you got to have a lot of respect for that woman. She's sharp as a tack, and she's extraordinary as a journalist. Candace Owens is going through a stage of awakening. As many of you know, she's always been a bit of a far-right type commentator. I don't even know if you want to call it far-right, but she's been, a Republican commentator in the political arena, and she has begun to break out of that mold. And when you start to break out of a mold or a program, then people, the first thing they do is start to call you crazy. This is because people are tribal, and tribalism prevents you from ascension or from spiritual evolution if you allow it to prevent you from using your own mind and coming up with your own conclusions. Mystics have always taught that when you connect to tribes or group think, you actually lose a lot of your spirit in that, because you absorb a lot of energy and a lot of thought forms that really aren't even yours. And that's where Candace is beginning to go. She is essentially growing out of the left versus right duality program, at least when it comes to the political arena. And this is a tremendous stage of evolution that she's in, something that Charlie started to go into, Charlie Kirk, and something that even Tucker Carlson is stepping into just a little bit as he's starting to see facts that don't line up with what he was taught in the MAGA community. Mind control programs, they exist in every arena, left, right, and everything in between. They're infiltrated in religious communities and in all kinds of societal structures that keep you in groupthink. Candace, being a tremendous journalist and also somebody who does believe in the higher power and in the Christ persona, she is very much fighting a fight that actually is for the light, even though she has not achieved enlightenment. She hasn't broken through all of the matrix entirely, but she is in the process of beginning to break out of the matrix. And so what she is doing, and a lot of the things that she's saying that people think she flipped, she didn't flip. She is awakening. And she's seeing beyond the veil of illusion. And she's seeing where the lies and deception have been woven into both left and right. So she is becoming very balanced. And she is expressing very important truths. But a lot of people think that she is betraying them or breaking out of one cult or one group or one side to go to the other. That's not what she's doing. She is aligning with divine truth. Truth is what sets humanity free. And she is in that process now of starting to break down all of the things that she thought she knew that she's realizing were lies. This is a very common stage for people who go through awakenings, when they really, really start to see, through those duality programs, which are woven through the satanic cults to mind control people to fight against God. then they need to actually break out of that. And when they do, their little groups or cliques that they were in start to betray them. And this is a common process that mystics go through, because they don't fit in any mold, because they're very aligned with the spirit world. And the spirit world operates very differently than the human world. The spirit world doesn't give a flying rip about politics, except for the fact that these political parties are manipulating the minds of humanity in order to gain control, to keep the people oppressed, so that these politicians can hoard wealth from the people who vote for them, not realizing that these people are not their friends. So Candace Owens, I actually can see a tremendous amount of light in her soul buddy. I haven't agreed with everything that she said, because again, she hasn't broke out of a lot of the religious programs. And so she still has a lot of religious programming, but she has broken out and is beginning to break out of the political programs that kept her from seeing some of the things that she was saying and doing in past years that weren't totally true, because she didn't see it before, but now she sees it through doing great research. And research, and this is why what led me really through my awakening almost 20 years ago, is that I too was a former journalist, not to the level that Candace is, but I did tremendous investigative research on many, many subjects for decades. And it helped me to see things that most people don't see, because they don't take the time to research things and find factual evidence to back up maybe a feeling that they had, or a thought they had, or somebody said something to them and they weren't sure if it was true or not, and they didn't bother to dig into the roots of it to explore whether or not it was truth. And Candace, being a journalist, and a very, very good journalist, has done that. And in doing that, she has begun to see that the program of the right, just like the program of the left, was giving her partial truths, and partial truths trap souls. And that's how humanity has become so enslaved by governments and nations that go to war with each other and all kinds of other things, is that they trick the people into believing something that really isn't true, just like they did in Afghanistan and many other wars that we've had, by propagating things, because they spend a lot of money to do that, and then getting your vote for it. Or sometimes I'm not even sure that they get your vote. They just decide they're going to do it, whether you like it or not. But a lot of times they get your vote, and they get all the people cheering on and saying, yes, yes, go and do these horrible, horrific things to that enemy over there that you told us was our enemy. And she is breaking out of that. So that's my reading on Candace Owens. She has a tremendous amount of soul light. She is on the path of awakening. She is doing her research. She's not crazy. And also, she's not lying about the things that she's telling you. She is finding the truth. And the truth is a very hard pill to swallow that a lot of people don't want to swallow. And that's why the MAGA community is beginning to betray her, some of them, because they too haven't done their homework, and they're not listening to the spirit of truth that she's bringing through. Candace, I would say, is on a very good track right now, even though it's dangerous, because, you know, she's in a very big spotlight. And so she is going to make a lot of enemies in there, but a lot of those enemies either A, are ignorant and just refuse to see truth even when she presents it to them. And the other enemies are soulless beings who are dark forces that are trying to enslave humanity. So if you guys were wondering, I can assure you that Candace is telling you the truth, and she is very good at her job. And she is on the path of awakening. She has not fully come out of her psychosis, what I would call religious psychosis, because she hasn't dug deep enough into that either. And that can be a heavy program to try to break out of when that's all that you know or believe in the higher power, and you don't know how to see beyond that. But where the path that she's on, she's headed in the right direction. And my name is Ellen Red. I'm a psychic medium and enlightenment teacher. I teach on Ascension. And I can assure you that Candace Owens is not crazy. She is a very good journalist. And she